In the heart of the small Georgian town of Gori, a man was born who would go on to change the course of history. From humble beginnings, he rose to become one of the most powerful and feared leaders of the 20th century, transforming his nation into a global superpower and leaving a legacy marked by both monumental achievements and unimaginable suffering. This is the story of Joseph Stalin. Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin, born Joseph Vissarionovich Dzugashvili on December 18, 1878, entered the world in modest surroundings. His father, Vissarion Dzugashvili, was a cobbler who struggled with alcoholism and was often abusive. His mother, Kate Geladze, was a washerwoman who dreamt of a better life for her son. Despite their hardships, she was determined to provide Joseph with an education. Young Joseph showed promise in school, earning a scholarship to the Tiflis Theological Seminary in 1894. His mother hoped he would become a priest, but destiny had other plans. At the seminary, Stalin was introduced to the works of Karl Marx and other revolutionary thinkers. These ideas captivated him, planting the seeds of his future political ambitions. However, his growing involvement in revolutionary activities led to his expulsion in 1899. This turning point marked the beginning of his journey into the underground world of revolutionary politics. After leaving the seminary, Stalin joined the Bolsheviks, a faction of the Russian Social Democratic Labor Party led by Vladimir Lenin. He quickly became known for his organizational skills and his willingness to engage in risky and often violent activities to further the revolutionary cause. His role in organizing strikes, protests, and even bank robberies to fund the party earned him a reputation as a dedicated and ruthless operative. Stalin's loyalty and effectiveness caught Lenin's attention, and he began to rise through the ranks of the Bolshevik Party. Despite several arrests and periods of exile, his resolve never wavered. By the time of the Russian Revolution in 1917, Stalin was a key figure within the party. The Russian Revolution of 1917 saw the Bolsheviks seize power, overthrowing the provisional government. Stalin played a significant role in this upheaval, though his contributions were often overshadowed by more prominent figures like Leon Trotsky. Nevertheless, Stalin's loyalty to Lenin and his administrative acumen did not go unnoticed. In 1922, Stalin was appointed as the Secretary General of the Communist Party. This seemingly bureaucratic position became the cornerstone of his power. Following Lenin's death in 1924, a fierce power struggle ensued. Stalin outmaneuvered his rivals, including Trotsky, Zinoviev, and Kamenev, using a combination of political cunning, alliances, and ruthless tactics. By the late 1920s, Stalin had consolidated his power and emerged as the undisputed leader of the Soviet Union. With his grip on power secure, Stalin embarked on an ambitious program to transform the Soviet Union. He aimed to turn it from an agrarian society into an industrial powerhouse. The first five-year plan, introduced in 1928, set staggering production targets for industries such as steel, coal, and machinery. Workers faced grueling conditions and immense pressure to meet these quotas. Simultaneously, Stalin launched the collectivization of agriculture, forcing millions of peasants into state-controlled collective farms. The goal was to increase agricultural productivity and fund industrialization. However, the process was brutally enforced. Peasants who resisted were branded as kulaks and faced arrest, deportation, or execution. Entire villages were uprooted, and the countryside was plunged into chaos. The forced collectivization led to widespread famine, particularly in Ukraine, where millions perished in the Holodomor. Despite the human cost, Stalin pressed on, determined to achieve his vision. In the late 1930s, Stalin's paranoia and desire to eliminate any potential threats to his rule led to the Great Purges. This campaign of political repression targeted party officials, military leaders, intellectuals, and ordinary citizens. Show trials, forced confessions, and executions became the norm. The purges created a climate of fear throughout the Soviet Union. Prominent figures who had once been Stalin's allies were now branded as enemies of the state. Tens of millions were arrested, exiled, or executed. The purges ensured Stalin's absolute control, but left a lasting scar on the nation. Stalin's leadership faced its greatest test during World War II. Initially, he signed a non-aggression pact with Nazi Germany, but in 1941, Hitler broke the pact and invaded the Soviet Union. The German blitzkrieg caught Stalin off guard, and the Soviet Union suffered significant losses in the early stages of the war. However, Stalin rallied the Soviet people, and under his leadership, the Red Army launched a fierce counteroffensive. The Battle of Stalingrad and the Battle of Kursk were pivotal moments that turned the tide against the Germans. The Red Army's resilience and determination played a crucial role in the eventual defeat of Nazi Germany. By 1945, the Soviet Union had emerged victorious, but at a tremendous cost. Millions of Soviet soldiers and civilians had perished, and vast areas of the country lay in ruins. Nevertheless, Stalin's leadership during the war solidified his status as a formidable and ruthless leader. After the war, Stalin extended Soviet influence over Eastern Europe, establishing communist regimes in countries such as Poland, Hungary, and East Germany. These satellite states were nominally independent, but were effectively controlled by the Soviet Union. Stalin's rule continued to be marked by repression and control, with the establishment of a vast security apparatus to maintain his grip on power. The post-war era also saw the beginning of the Cold War, a period of intense rivalry between the Soviet Union and the United States. Stalin's policies and actions during this time further solidified his reputation as a ruthless and calculating leader. He pursued nuclear weapons development, resulting in the Soviet Union's first successful atomic bomb test in 1949. The arms race and ideological conflict between the two superpowers defined the global landscape for decades. Stalin's health began to decline in the early 1950s. He became increasingly paranoid and suspicious of those around him, fearing conspiracies and betrayal. In 1953, Stalin's death marked the end of an era. His legacy is complex and controversial. On one hand, he transformed the Soviet Union into a global superpower, but on the other, his policies led to the deaths and suffering of millions. Stalin's legacy is a subject of ongoing debate. He is credited with transforming the Soviet Union into a major industrial power and playing a crucial role in the defeat of Nazi Germany. However, his rule was also marked by widespread terror, repression, and the loss of countless lives. The impact of Stalin's policies continues to be felt in Russia and beyond. Joseph Stalin's story is a powerful reminder of the impact one individual can have on history. His rise from humble beginnings to absolute power is a tale of ambition and ruthlessness, but it's also a sobering reflection on the human cost of tyranny. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that shape our world. Let us know in the comments which historical figure you'd like to learn about next. Turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest videos. Until next time, remember to stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating stories of our past. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on our latest content. Share this video with friends who love history, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps us bring more stories to light, so thank you for being part of our community.